right, this is a pretty cool moment in the history of the show as a man who's been very busy out there promoting his book has taken some time to join us on the phone. First of all, greetings and welcome, Mr. Lenny Dykstra.
Lenny.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be up your way here at the end of the week for Cooperstown, so appreciate you having me.
Well, we're glad to have you, and of course we'll promote that for you, absolutely. But I got to get into your book, man, because I know you're out promoting House of Nails, a memoir of life on the edge. And Lenny, I'm looking through this. I'm reading some of the marked chapters and some of the big stories, and I don't mean this in any way other than just it's so intense. It's so crazy, some of the stuff you've done. Did you embellish at all? Did you make any of this bigger than it really was?
No, in fact, I actually made it smaller than it was. I didn't even get into the real legal issues because you lose people on that. And so when I first started writing the book, it was more about taking apart the system that. But again, then I started talking to my friends, like, "What do you guys think? What do you like?" Like they kind of say, "Oh, it's okay." When your friends say it, they didn't want to hear it. It just so I basically just had to sit down and I wrote the book, and I wrote the good, the bad, and the ugly. See, and I've been asked to write books before, but I wasn't ready to embellish, as you said, everything. And so I kind of, I let it all hang out, and it's kind of like I did when I played. So I used to like have this little way I judged myself when I played. Is I would sit in front of my locker for a minute and just say, if I were a fan, would I have paid money to watch me play? So, like, when I was done with that book, after all the blood and sweat and everything else on the keyboards, I knew I put the best thing I could put together, and fortunately, people are approving of it because it's real and it's raw and it's honest,
Lenny, being a Met fan in 1986, great to have you on. Also I haven't read the whole book, but sections of it I found really fascinating. One of the things that I want to ask you about is when you were in jail, you took a beating from the guards at it was the L.A. County Jail, correct? Yeah,
they've since been prosecuted and put in jail themselves, the deputies. And, so that was a 5-year investigation. But yeah, that's what happened.
Well, what was that about? What was their reason?
Well, like I said, 25 of 20 something of them have been put in jail, the deputies, and they went all the way from the top, the bottom to the top, and the sheriff was pretty guilty. But so it was kind of a culture there, and so like one night they were walking. I was in like protective custody, and meaning on one side of me was Conrad Murray, and the other side the guy that supposedly killed Michael Jackson. But the other side was Lalo Martinez. He had a Mexican mafia who ordered 80 hits from his cell, But so we were locked up in these cages, 24/7, and so they're whistling "Take Me Out" to the ball game, and I was like, okay, like not tonight, and words, and boom. Next thing I know, I don't know, I don't remember. I mean, I was like in a hospital for 4 days, but I mean, I almost got killed, and it was pretty rough, but I'm fighting through it.
Mets legend Lenny Dykstra with us right here on 104.5 The Team. So Lenny, some of the great stories and stuff that you talk about, one of his, of course, has been covered a lot, is the hiring people to follow around umpires. Can you give us a situation where that benefited you in a game?
Well, the first benefit was I got tired. I'm not like, I can't take the brown nosing, like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how you doing? Who cares how you're doing? I mean, I mean, like, the courage and trying to get, because everyone's trying to work the umpires.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. Because anyone who knows anything about baseball knows umpires control your lives because, these pitches are so good, they can throw paint on the black. And if it goes 1-0, the average for the league over the schedule, you're going to hit, 280. And if it goes 0-1, you're going to hit like 180. So I wanted to make absolutely certain that I had them on my side. And so I just kind of went, like I'd done everything else in my life, took it to the next level,
Well, now give us an example of something that you did.
Well, I mean, their blood's just as red as ours. I mean,
you can tell us. We won't tell anybody.
Guy calls. Everyone knows. A guy calls a strike.
Yeah.
And I looked borderline strike. I looked back and so you didn't cover last night. Oh. And that's all you need to say, because fear does a lot to a man. And then, because, like I said, again, but I'm going to be honest with you, the mentality of doing whatever I had to do, whenever I had to do it to win, I took that out into the business world, and it worked for a while, but then it actually ultimately led me from flying in my own jet to being in prison. So, it was, what happens is kind of like the way I played the game. I mean, but money became my drug. I wanted more and more, and then put all these balls out in the air and kind of got a reality check, and like everything else in my life is like it's all or nothing,
Lenny Dykstra with us, 104.5 The Team, House of Nails, the book. Lenny, you admit to everything. You pull the curtain back, and like you said, financially, in the financial world, you went after it. Steroids, to a degree, just blackmail. Is there anything you did that you regret now, when sitting back while you're writing this book?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that hurt the most writing the book was what I did to my family. I can never get, all I can do is, and I'm fortunate that my family and I are close. My kids are awesome and have a great mother. But I mean, because like when you're going through it, you think like you're doing everything great just because you're paying the bills or whatever. And then like you realize, like I realized I wasn't, even though I was there, I wasn't present. I was always thinking about the next deal, the next action, and so that's kind of where that hurt the most. That was the most difficult part.
Lenny, and I can really identify with that, because I was, I've had my own troubles with that kind of stuff. Tell us a really funny story about maybe something you didn't put in the book, about something that happened during a ball game.
Real funny story that didn't happen during the ball game. That happened during the ball game. Well, I'll tell you one. I don't think it's in the book.
Okay.
So Fergosi, I was playing with the Phillies. Fergosi, at the end of my career, when I was beat up, he used to give me Sunday day games off after Saturdays, and we were in Florida. It was a million degrees there, and like I got annihilated on Saturday night. We were playing terrible, and so knowing I'm not going to play Sunday, I walk in the clubhouse, see my name in the leadoff spot. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. There's not enough drugs or anything to like get out there. So I say, I know what I'll do. I figured it out. I know what I'll do. I'll get run. I'm going to get thrown out of the game. So I lead him off the game. Eric Rigg is behind the plate, and the first pitch right down the middle, he called a strike. I start going crazy on him. You spat, screaming at him, everything. But he says, Lenny, I already know it. Jimmy already told me. He says, if I'm going to be out here in this heat, you're going to be out in this heat. Yeah. So Fergosi, because he was a crafty veteran, and he was awesome. He knew exactly what I was going to do, man. And so, it was amazing right there.
Lenny Dykstra, he's got the book House of Nails out right here on 104.5 The Team. Lenny, recently there's been some reports of a friend of yours who was helping you run some of your social media. Your Twitter account, when you signed on, I took immediate notice because I loved the idea of you and Jose Canseco swapping stories on Twitter. Please tell me that was you and not somebody else hanging out with Canseco.
Oh, no. Me and all them stuff, those are all my videos. And all he did is help me. Like, I didn't know how to do Twitter. So he just helped me post things and stuff like that. But no, I've been in it, and I'm still in it all. It's actually a fascinating thing. The way you can connect with people so fast. So yeah, no, I've been in this all head first, just from the book, to this whole social media stuff. And cause you remember, I was away a while. I was in the government's hotel. So I learned about all this stuff when I got out. So anyway, it's all good stuff.
Lenny, tell us before we let you go. Tell us, when you look back now on your career, especially with the Mets, what is one of the fondest memories you have about that?
Well, I'll tell you the most like surreal memory, and people might think this is different. Of course, the home run and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
the ticker tape parade, man. I mean, it was almost like a movie, seeing people hang out of like 50-story buildings, and like the way like the city, man, like it was almost like the Gladiators or something, you know. Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome, man. I'm a very fortunate person to have played in New York and win in Philadelphia, two of the best sports cities there are. I mean, doesn't get better than that.
Lenny Dykstra, House of Nails, a New York Times bestseller right now. Follow him on Twitter at Lenny Dykstra. Lenny, you said you're coming to our neck of the woods. What do you got going on?
Yeah, where you going to be?
I'm gonna blister the Hall of Fame committee about what I want to know the threshold for getting in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I want to know, like, it's okay to take like amphetamines, but it's, what makes you a bad enough person to? I mean, I'm going to be signing autographs there, but I'm also going to go light up the Hall of Fame because what's their answer to that? I mean, what's the threshold? I mean, like, everyone in the 70s and 80s took amphetamines. Talking Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens not being in the Hall of Fame. Come on, man, it's crazy.
So Nails, you're going to campaign? You're going to campaign for yourself this weekend in Cooperstown? Yeah, well, I'm signing autographs for somebody, but not for myself.
Yeah.
A campaign about what's the Hall of Fame. I mean, is it about a good guy content? I just want to know how it works because I'm confused, like a lot of other people are, and I just want to know. So it's okay to take amphetamines, but not some steroids. I mean, I just want to know what the threshold is. What makes you bad enough not to be able to get in?
Gambling on baseball, I think, is pretty much it. We actually talked.
I do too, by the way. I agree with you.
Yeah, we talked to the CEO of the Hall of Fame last week, and we asked him, the Pete Rose question, and his response, although not direct, Lenny, was that Pete Rose is never going to be in the Hall of Fame until after he's dead because of the gambling.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
you bring up a good point. There's a lot of pro athletes that have used drugs during their career. I mean,
of course,
some of your teammates.
Rampant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So. You're saying, and you're going to present to them that should not be a reason. And I got to tell you something. I happen to agree. That's something. If you did that stuff off the field doesn't have to do with what you did on baseball field.
Well, I just know. I want to know what the threshold is because see, there's guys in the Hall of Fame that everyone knows took amphetamines. They all admit to taking amphetamines, and they were laying around the clubhouse in the 70s and 80s. Those are performance-enhancing drugs, anyway, maybe better to give you energy. So that's okay, I guess. And so I just want to know what the rules are because it seems like they're making up their own rules and judging people. Like if there's a rumor guy was on steroids, he's on. It's not about me. I don't have a chance for the Hall of Fame, but I'm just confused, as a lot of other people are, on what. Like they got to have some kind of threshold or bar or something. I don't know.
Lenny, what's next? I mean, you own car washes, financial supermind. You're now an author. What's next? You making a movie out of this thing, or what are you going to do next?
Yeah, we are actually. We are. In fact, I'm meeting with a couple of power hitters, one today and one tomorrow. I think they're going to do a scripted series because there's so much content in there.
Oh yeah.
Something like a Boardwalk Empire or something like that, but it'll be good, so you have multiple seasons. Because I did sign a book deal with a big time director and writer, John Lee Hancock, who did Blindside and Gil Netter. But like after I sat down like 8 weeks with John Lee Hancock, the writer, he said, "I can't take it." He said, "Like I could get 6 fiction writers in here to write this up."
Oh yeah.
This.
No, your life was better than any fiction book any sport.
I mean,
it's
crazy.
It's completely insane.
It's legitimately planting the flag, or figuratively planting the flag at Mount Kilimanjaro and sleeping in the depths of Death Valley, man. Everything in between.
Lenny Dykstra, House of Nails. It's a New York Times bestseller. Nails, man, thanks for making time and joining us today.
Appreciate it, Lenny.
Yeah, man. Yeah, see you guys up in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully they don't haul me away up there.
No, you definitely don't need to go back, my man.
All right, man. See you guys.
Talk to you soon.
Baseball star.